Hey, everybody. So, this is kind of a bonus episode here. We wanted to give you a taste of what you get if you support No Repeat on Patreon. Every month, we do a bonus podcast called Billy Joe Armstrong's Middle School Notebook. Why is it called that? We don't know. It was a dumb name we came up with 4 years ago, and we're still doing it.
And it's legal now, so we have to stick with it.
Yep, but
And Billy Joe Armstrong hasn't sued us yet.
That's exactly right. We love you, Billy.
Different. It's spelled different than
Right.
the person that Tyler may be talking about, but that's not who we're talking about.
But one of the things that we do on that show is that we actually dive deeper into new music, like full albums. We don't just talk about a single song at once. Imagine that. And so I wanted to do a quick review of a high-profile release and drop it here in the main feed. We wanted to talk about the new album from rapper, singer, multi-instrumentalist T-Pain.
No one is talking about this.
T-Pain's new album, on top of the covers, a 8-track covers album that he's supposedly been working on since 2019 when he appeared on The Masked Singer and won The Masked Singer because everybody couldn't believe that T-Pain can actually sing. We've all listened to On Top of the Covers. I guess let's start with maybe opening statements. Does anybody have any, high-level thoughts here?
What a dumb album name.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
No, really, though. Come on.
if you're going to do that as the album name and have the cover be you on a silk
On the
sheet
covers, with a rose in your mouth.
a rose in your mouth and a champagne in a bucket of ice, pick some sexy covers.
Yeah, exactly. Not the dumb ones that you picked.
Yeah.
The
Well,
song
they're not
selection
dumb,
leaves a
they just
lot
don't
to
like
be
them.
desired.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Very curious.
How frustrating.
I mean, I'll quickly read them off, and then I want to get immediate reactions, worst cover, best cover. The track listing is A Change Is Gonna Come, originally by Sam Cooke. Don't Stop Believin', originally by Journey. Sharing the Night Together, popularized by Dr. Hook and his band. Stay With Me by Sam Smith. Tennessee Whiskey, originally recorded by David Allan Coe. That's Life, kind of a standard, first recorded by Marion Montgomery. And War Pigs by Black Sabbath. And then there's a string interlude in the middle called Scrangs in K major sustained, which we can talk about at a different time. What do you guys think of our 7 covers here? What's the worst? What's the best?
I feel like an additional note, I didn't really say my high-end macro of this. I would say that an artist as technically skilled as T-Pain didn't have to make this, but he did. The novelty is fine, but as we kind of said, you're like the covers, you're like the artistic quality is there, but the I feel like the cover choice is what's really lacking. Is basically because who's gonna the performances are all pretty good. I would say T-Pain's he's singing his ass off. He's doing great. I would say the one that probably Stay With Me. I think that one works. I think it's kind of in the right sort of style, the right zone. It doesn't feel too different. I don't know necessarily if it needed to be T-Pain. I feel like I also technically Don't Stop Believin', just because it's so popular and it's so prolific in the world of music that it's yeah. It's kind of nice to see your T-Pain kind of going on there. But I will say the War Pigs did not. That was the least necessary one of all of them, for sure, absolutely. But I would say everything else is kind of just all right.
Sean, best and worst?
Stay With Me was the best. None of it was the worst, but also none of it was the best. I'll put it that way. I like his take on stuff. He definitely did them all in his own way. And I appreciate that about the cover. It wasn't like, even War Pigs, it wasn't like it was just trying to do it as close to the original as possible, or just kind of like singing over top of stuff. He did it in a real T-Pain style. I just don't necessarily know. There's probably a really good backstory to this, where he's going to end up doing like an interview where he's like, actually, all these songs I really like, or they got stuck in my head, or they influenced other things that I did. And that would be kind of cool. I don't know though. Like, this is not my thing.
I think that's what we needed. We needed context, because I feel like this just got dropped, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. Like, okay, T-Pain. Sure.
And that's fine. You can want to. I'm okay with that. I'm just...
Yeah. For me, I really struggle. I think if I absolutely had to pick right now, I'd pick Stay With Me as well. I personally, I really love the performance on Tennessee Whiskey, but it runs 5 minutes and 14 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
It just goes on and on and on and on.
And on. Strangest. I see what you did there. That's pretty funny.
And, like, I wish it was shorter because I could, like, actually recommend it. The problem is it's so samey and so long that you lose interest. I forget what's happening because, like, it's just kind of the same stuff over and over. So in some ways that is both the best and the worst, but I think the true egregious bad one here is That's Life. It didn't need to be done. I know it's a standard, but, like, didn't need to be done really. And then to put a no-name rap feature in it, like,
hey, leave Nando still STL alone.
I mean, it's just somebody who happens to be on T-Pain's label. Like, okay, cool. Like, feature people on your label. I'm all for that. I don't think he added anything. I think he severely detracts from it, because there is a part of this that feels like T-Pain, like, trying to, like, prove himself as a singer.
Yeah.
And just throwing that feature on that song in particular, I'm like, you couldn't have found somebody to sing a duet with or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that would have been fun.
I think there's other covers that I would have loved him if he would have done songs, like, if he would have done a cover of Killing in the Name Of. That would have been very cool. Because he's a very talented guitar player, and I think his interpretation of that song would have been very cool. And I'm a little bit sad. That's why I think these songs mean something to him that hasn't been, at least we haven't stumbled upon yet, where he talks about it. But
you bring up an excellent point, though, Sean, that T-Pain is a very good guitar player. And you hear him play guitar on this.
Yeah.
He's
a very good guitar player.
I don't see anywhere, and maybe somebody who's listening can find this and, like, send it to us. I haven't found a personnel list for this. I don't know how much of the instrumentation T-Pain did himself. But I found the backing tracks on this to be awful. They sound like karaoke tracks in some places. They have no depth to them.
Yeah.
Don't Stop
It is
Believing
a
in
little
War
flat.
Pigs in particular. I'm like, where is the sound? Like, there's nothing to it. It's like stock piano sounds and a drum machine. Like, you're T-Pain. Put a band together. Just get some session players. Like, come on.
Yeah. I feel like this should do well enough that he does another one and he ups the production value. That's like my end goal for this. That he likes doing it just enough. Because I feel like I like T-Pain as, like, a personality, and I like almost all, like, you know, like, I like his voice, I like his singing, I like his style, I like T-Pain. I'm a T-Pain fan, but it's just, you're right, it's just like the production on this is just a little sussy on some parts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Sean mentioned Killing in the Name. What other songs do we think could have been better choices here? Because we famously pick songs for situations. What's the
perfect
song
T-Pain
for a
cover?
T-Pain cover album?
I would love to hear him do a cover of Lil Yachty's "Pretty,"
Okay.
but instead of doing, he could do the lyrics, but then instead of doing the vocal thing, do it with his guitar. I think he's talented enough to pull something off with some effects and stuff that would showcase the fact that not only can he write a killer song, but he can make an awesome cover instrumentally that is T-Pain worthy. He's got the talent.
All right, I'm gonna tap in 90s R&B ballads. Let's see.
I think you're in the right frame of mind because I feel like more ballads is a good choice.
Let's get some Whitney in here.
You know, I feel like he could.
Some Boys to Men.
I feel like he could have a lot of fun with "I Will Always Love You." Maybe
he could do some Flock of Seagulls. I could see him doing Rain Away.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Honestly, this is gonna sound like a meme pick, but I feel like he could truly tear up "Never Gonna Give You Up" by Rick Astley.
Yeah, he should do that. The meme potential is also there.
It's a hard song to sing, but I feel like he could do it. I'd also even throw in, like, if you really want to do, like, I think the Sam Cooke cover is good. I think he could lean into that and do some Sinatra.
Yes.
Like, My Way would be great. New York, New York would be great. I mean, Lady Gaga did 2 whole albums of standards with Tony Bennett.
They should do it. They should do it together. I was soft thinking Gaga. Come on. They probably don't get along.
The duets are definitely missing here, for sure.
Yeah.
I would also say, I know we talked about the production. He does all of the backing vocals pretty much himself. There's occasionally other voices here. It makes it sound thin.
Do people not like working with T-Pain? Is that what's going on here? Or is he just
I don't think so. I'm wondering if this was a pandemic project. Because it feels like a pandemic project. Like, it feels a little underproduced. But can you imagine, like, on a couple of these tracks, if you just put, like, a big gospel choir behind him to really, like, fill it out?
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, Stay With Me famously has a gospel choir on it. And he just does, like, a multi-part vocal harmony with himself. But even just a little bit of choir on that, I think, would have helped so much. And so giving him something like Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For by U2 and do, like, the version with the gospel choir, like, that would be amazing. I would love to hear him do that.
I know. There's a lot here to play with. I think that the bones are here to build something that's really, really good. The structure's here. I feel like I'm missing a part of the story, which might make this turn around a little bit. And the funny thing is, on the other side of this, I kind of want to see more. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have another T-Pain cover album. I think there's better songs.
Yeah.
Without context, I think there's better songs.
Yeah, that is kind of the crazy thing, right? Like, I want more too.
I'm in.
It's a very weird feeling. Like, I don't want to listen to this again. I've listened to it like 3 times.
Oh, absolutely not. No. Please don't.
If I never have to hear that Black Sabbath cover again, it'll be too soon.
War Pig's already on the playlist. Yeah, okay, we're good. Quick, we gotta pick all the songs on this for this album so we don't have to choose the T-Pain version.
I mean, I've also just never liked Sharing the Night Together to begin with, and I don't think this version helps it. But that might just be me. Boy. Well, okay, final thoughts. T-Pain on top of the covers. If folks haven't listened to it yet, it sounds like we're saying give it a pass. Is that the verdict here?
I say you should listen to it once for the novelty of it and then throw it into the trash. Just buckets. As soon as War Pigs is done, you're like, all right, see you, T-Pain.
I'm not going to disagree with anything Tyler just said.
Well, Tyler... Oh, go ahead. Well, Tyler, if people want to suggest songs for your covers album, where can they reach you?
Hey everybody, you can find my design illustration work at rudepets.club. Can you imagine? Or you can find me on socials, Rude Pets Club, Instagram and Twitter.
Sean, if people want to auto-tune your voice, where can they do that?
Find it on this podcast, but also on Instagram at TellySean.
And if you want to stay with me, because I'm all that you need, you can find me on the socials at TC Olmstead. T-Pain's On Top of the Covers, available to stream now. We will be back talking about new releases on our monthly podcast, Billy Joe Armstrong's Middle School Notebook. You can get it on Patreon, patreon.com/NoRepeatPod for just $1 a month. We'll be back next Saturday with another episode of No Repeat.